It's Darkside Phil's Game of the Year Awards for 2015, the top 10 best games of the year. Honorable mention, Mad Max. Now here's a game that I feel that would have done a lot better if it weren't for one factor: timing. Everything was aligned, the stars were positioned properly for Mad Max the video game to be a massive sales success. The fact that this game had been advertised for over 2 years as an open world roaming game that not only would have combat but also customization, driving, looting, invasion, and all kinds of these cool elements implemented in a game a game type that hadn't existed. Yes, we've had open world games before, but never this unique combination of components. In addition, having a license with an upcoming movie that intentionally, it was going to be a hit. I mean, everything was aligned here for this game to be successful. Unfortunately, one thing happened. The movie came out around mid-2015, was a huge hit in the box office. Everyone went to see this thing. And then the game came out 4 to 5 months later, right in the midst of the hardcore gaming season, with games like Metal Gear Solid 5, Mario Maker, and a lot of other heavy-hitting blockbusters kind of all being released around it, and the game was completely forgotten. Now, when I played the game, I actually really enjoyed it. It was a cool element. I like the fact that you're in the middle of this kind of post-apocalyptic world. You're finding landmarks and things that ended up being destroyed in the nuclear holocaust or whatever happened to climate change. And also the fact that it's open world, but there's a lot of racing. There's a lot of customization of cars. There's a lot of things in the game that add to the overall experience. And if you actually go throughout the insanely large map of Mad Max doing all of the content, this is a game that could probably take up 50 plus hours of gameplay. But unfortunately, most people just freaking skipped it because they want to play Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's kind of the sad story of Mad Max. Do I think that Mad Max was good enough to be in my top 10 games of this year? Absolutely not. I don't. But if this game had been released 2 to 3 months earlier, I think it would be in a lot of people's top 10 countdowns. I just think it was in such a bad time when other games were being released and everyone wanted to play something else that was overhyped, that this game got passed over. So if you see it in the bargain bin, if you get a chance to play a game you have a month to kill, Mad Max is your game, especially if you were a fan of the movie. You're definitely going to like the tie-ins with the game. But as it is, it's an honorable mention in my Game of the Year awards this year. Now on to number 7 in our countdown, Until Dawn. That's right, Until Dawn was a game that I did absolutely no research on. I purposely isolated myself from trailers, from rumors, from all information about the game, because all I knew was that it was supposed to be a survival horror game similar in a vein to, say, Heavy Rain, where your choices can directly affect what happens to characters and that people could actually die in the game. Once I heard that, I said, that's it. I don't want to be spoiled. I don't even want to know who's in the game. I just want to play the game at face value and see exactly what it is. In fact, during my playthrough of Until Dawn, I closed my stream chat and I completely isolated myself, just like I used to do back in the day when playing games. And boy, am I glad that I did, because the story of Until Dawn is so cliche and cheesy intentionally to be like a B horror movie that anyone who is a fan of that genre would instantly love this game. Whether you're watching someone play it or you're playing the game yourself, the cool murder mystery of people getting snuffed out and who's doing it and who is the person behind the scenes, moving all the things in motion and scaring the cast of young adults who are up at this isolated lodge. Of course, no way to get any help, right? We don't have any phones or anything that works, just like every horror movie. But then also that it tied in with a completely other separate storyline with a supernatural twist to it. And I won't spoil it here, but I did like the fact that this game basically had kind of Hollywood horror movie production values. And yes, your decisions in the game actually got people to survive or die, which was really cool. Now, I'm going to be honest with everyone. Is this a game that I would say could be Game of the Year? No. Does it do anything groundbreaking or so original or different from other games that you could say it's one of the best games you've ever played? Probably not. But like I said, if you are a horror movie buff, this game hits it on all cylinders. It does exactly what it sets out to do, make a horror movie into an interactive video game with replayability. Because the other cool thing about Until Dawn is that once you've beaten it once, you definitely want to go back, pick all the decisions you didn't make the first time around, and see how that butterfly effect affects the game, who will survive, who will die, and how things are going to be affected in the end game. Of course, there's also collectibles and such that you grab just like in all survivor horror games, but I just really enjoyed this game experience. Certainly, I cannot say, oh my god, it's going to be one of the best value for your dollar games. It's not. Each playthrough is around 5 to 6 hours long, so maybe maximum you'll get 10, 12 hours of gameplay out of it, but it is a hell of a ride. If you like horror movies, don't miss Until Dawn. If you missed the playthrough, oh my goodness, go check it out. People absolutely loved it. One of my most successful things I've done in years, and I hope that they keep making awesome games like this, even though, let's face it, was it the highest reviewed game ever? No, but I think that it does what it tries to accomplish, and I hope that they make more games like this in the near future. Coming up next, this game series has certainly had its ups and downs over the years, but this year it came out swinging and scored a knockout. Don't miss it.